Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today's tutorial, we're going to be making this little shawlette. I call it the Berry Pickin Shaw, and I named it that because the little fillet holes in it remind me of berry blossoms, or strawberry blossoms. Excuse me, but it measures from tip all the way to this tip about 62 inches, and from the beginning to the top about 20 inches. Now I used 2 skeins of, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, Stonewash, in the color Berry. 252 yards per skein. On my second skein, I do have a little bit left. Now, you don't have to use this yarn. Any 4-weight acrylic is going to work just fine, or even a 3-weight. You can use a 3-weight and this will turn out just as good. I used a 6mm hook, scissors, needle to weave in your ends, and I also have this little shaw pin I got from Hobby Lobby. You don't have to have one. Safety pin will work just fine too. So get everything together and let's get started. Okay, to get started, we're going to get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you leave a tail for weaving in. And we're going to start with a chain of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now into the back humps, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from hook into the back lump. And we're going to single crochet into each back hump across. So when we're done, we should have 7 single crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's our row 1. So row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn, single crochet into that first single. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 single, and we're going to V-stitch into the next. And our V-stitch is a double, chain 3, and a double. So we're going to yarn over, go in for a double, chain 3, go right back in there with another double, and there's our V-stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and we're going to single crochet into the last. And that was the end of row 2. Alrighty, for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to work a 2 double crochet cluster. So what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over into that very first single, go in, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and there's our double crochet cluster. So now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work what we're going to, throughout this pattern, there's two kinds of shells, a normal shell and a mini shell. Now the mini shell is 3 double crochets, and the normal shell is 5 double crochets. So into this first chain space right here, we're going to work our mini shell. So 3 doubles. That's 1, 2, and 3. And into the chain 3 space of our V-stitch, we're going to work our normal shell, which is 5 doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now into this last chain space, we're going to work our mini shell, which is the 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and we're going to finish off with in this last single crochet with our 2 double crochet cluster. So go yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, pull up, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops left, yarn over, pull through 3. And that's the end of round 3. So for round 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work our double crochet cluster back into the first stitch. Oops, through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, pull through 3. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to V-stitch into this very first chain space right here, and our V-stitch is a double, chain 3, double. So there's our first double, chain 3, 2, 3, I lost control, and a double. Now we're going to chain 2. Look at my notes. Now we're going to work a single crochet into every double of our shell. So we're going to single crochet into each double of our shell, not our mini shell, our shell. So we go into the first, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 2, and now we're going to come over to our next chain 2 space and work our V-stitch, which is a double, chain 3, double. So yarn over, go in, a double, chain 3, and a double. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to work our cluster into our last stitch. You gotta turn your work a little to see it, but it's right on the side. So go in, pull up, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, pull up, pull through 2, 3 loops, pull through all 3. And there is the end of row 4. So for row 5, we're going to chain 1 and turn, work our cluster. Oh, don't pull through that. Pull through 3. I gotta get me some slack. Okay, we've got our first cluster. Now we're going to chain 2. And we're going to work our mini shell into this very first chain space. And our mini is 3 doubles. 1, 2, oh, lost control, and 3. Now we're going to shell into our V-stitch right here, which is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to work our mini into the next chain space. And our mini is 3. 1, 2, dang it, and 3. Now we're going to single crochet into the 3rd single of our set of 5 here. So we're going to skip, skip, and single into the 3rd. Now we're going to work our mini, our shell, and our mini. So 3, 5, and then 3. So there's 2, 3, into the chain 3 of our V-stitch, gets the full shell, so 5 double, 2, 3, 4, scooch that over a little, and 5, and then to our last chain space gets the 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and into our last stitch we're going to work our cluster. Every row from here on out is going to end and begin with the cluster. Pull through 3. And that is the end of round 5. So for round 6, we're going to chain 1 and turn, work our cluster, chain 2, V-stitch into that very first chain space right there, 1, 2, 3, scooch, V, finish that with our double, chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to jump straight across to our shell and we're going to single crochet into all 5 of the double. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2. Now we're going to V-stitch into that single crochet right there. So a double, chain 3, and right back in there with another double. Chain 2. We're going to single crochet into each double crochet of our shell, not our mini, our full shell. So into that first double with the single and in all 5 of them. That's 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to V-stitch into this chain space. So go in there with a double, chain 3, and a double, chain 2, and into our very last stitch, work our double crochet cluster. Pull through 3. There is the end of row 6. Starting to come together. Flip my notes over. Okay, so for row 7, get me some more slack. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to cluster into our first cluster of the last row. Don't do that. Yarn over, go in, pull through 2, pull through 3. Now we're going to chain 2, we're going to work our mini shell into the very next chain 2 space. 1, which is 3 double, 1, 2, and 3. Shell into the V-stitch. Yarn over first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mini shell into the next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to single crochet into the third single crochet of our set of 5 here. So skip 2, single crochet into the third. And now we're going to work our mini shell into the next chain space. 1, 2, running out of yarn here. So our mini shell is 3 doubles, 2 and 3. Now we're going to shell into the V-stitch. 1, just 5 doubles, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next chain space gets our mini. 1, 2, 3. Now into our 5 single, we're going to skip 2, single crochet into the third single of our set of 5 right there. And now we're going to start straight into our mini into the next chain space. 1, 2, 3. Work our shell into the V-stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now into the last chain space gets our mini. 1, 2, there's 3, chain 2, and we're going to double crochet cluster into the very last stitch. You turn a little bit to see it. So yarn over, go in, three loops, pull through 3, and that is the end of row 7. Okay, so that was the end of row 7. So row 8, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start with our cluster. Get you some yarn. So row 8 is the first row of our 2-row repeat for the entire little shawlette thing. So we got our cluster, chain 2, V-stitch into this very next chain space. So double, chain 3, double, chain 2. Now we're going to single crochet across our shell, the 5 doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and our last one is 5. Chain 2, 1, 2. and we're going to skip our mini shell, and right into that single crochet, the lonely little single right there, we're going to work our V-stitch. So double, chain 3, scooch that over a little, and double, chain 2, single crochet across our shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 2, skip our little mini, and into our single little crochet right there, we're going to work our V-stitch. I got lost in the pattern. So a double, chain 3, and a double, chain 2, single crochet into each double of our shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 2, now we're going to V-stitch in our last chain space right here. So one double, chain 3, and 1 double, chain 2, and now we're going to work our cluster into the our last stitch. So 1, and there you go. There's the end of row 8. So row 9 is next, and that's the last row of our repeat. So it's rows 8 and 9 for the entire little shawlette. Okay, so for 9, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to cluster right back into that cluster. Pull through 3. We're going to chain 2. Now we're going to work our mini shell into the next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Shell into the middle of our V-stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mini into our next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the third single of our set of 5. So skip, skip, single crochet. And now we're going to start all over. In this chain space goes our mini, in the middle of our V-stitch goes our shell, and in the next chain space is our mini. So 3, 2, 3, 5 into the next for our shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and into the next chain space goes our 3, our mini shell. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the third single of our set of 5. Skip, skip, single. Come straight across, and we're going to work our mini our shell into our V-stitch and our mini. 1, 2, 3, shell into our V-stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our next chain space gets the mini. 1, 2, and 3. So the next, we have our 5 single right here. We're going to skip 2, single crochet in the middle, in the third one. So we're going to come across and we have our chain 2 space, so that gets our mini shell, shell in the V-stitch, mini shell in the next one. So 1, 2, 3, shell in our V-stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Next chain space gets our mini. 1, 2, 3. Now we're to the end, so we're going to chain 2 and work our double crochet cluster into our last stitch. Now remember, you're going to have to angle it a little, and then it's going to pop right there. So we're going to work our cluster there. And there's the end of round 9. So go ahead and rewind if you need to look at round 8 again, but we're going to repeat 8 and 9, 8 and 9 over and over and over. And I'm going to come back and let you guys know how many times I repeat that. Alrighty guys, I'm back and I've repeated rows 8 and 9 until from the very beginning all the way to the end measures 20 inches. Now you don't have to do it that small. You can do it longer if you want to. It's completely up to you. I did end on row 9 repeat, and I did hit this with a little bit of steam just to loosen those stitches up a little bit, but you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. So I ended on row 9. Get my camera set up. Now all I'm going to do, of course, I can't find my scissors as usual. All I'm going to do is chain 1, pull up a loop. There they are. Cut, pull that, weave in my ends, and we're done. I hope you guys enjoyed this, making it. I loved it. I thought this was so cute. It's just a little shawlette. It'd be awesome to wear with a like a blue jean jacket or over a dress. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out my description box. I've got links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Etsy. My email address is in there. If you guys need any help whatsoever, email me and I will be right there to help you guys. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button and then click notifications so you don't miss anything I upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.